The billionaire frowned as the waitress quietly placed a plain white envelope beside his coffee. It had no name, no stamp, and no message written on the outside. Curious, he opened it immediately. It was completely empty. He looked up, confused, expecting an explanation. The young waitress simply smiled and softly said, "Sir, the truth isn't in the envelope. It's why someone wanted you to believe there was something inside." The billionaire's expression changed instantly. Across the elegant restaurant, one of his business associates suddenly stood up and began walking toward the exit. At that very moment, the billionaire realized he had just uncovered a trap that could have destroyed his company and betrayed everyone who trusted him. If you believe honesty is more valuable than money, kindness can change lives, and everyone deserves hope and a second chance, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to our channel for more emotional stories that remind us what truly matters. 55-year-old billionaire Benjamin Caldwell had built one of America's most successful technology companies. Investors admired his intelligence, employees respected his fairness, and competitors feared his careful attention to detail. Yet Benjamin often reminded young executives that the greatest threats to any business rarely came from outside. They usually came from people willing to manipulate trust. On a warm afternoon, Benjamin arrived at the historic Willow Garden restaurant for a confidential lunch with 3 senior executives. They were preparing to finalize the purchase of a smaller software company that had developed groundbreaking medical technology capable of helping millions of patients. Working that afternoon was 27-year-old waitress Grace Sullivan. Before financial hardship forced her into restaurant work, Grace had studied psychology and human behavior at university. She became fascinated by how small actions often revealed hidden intentions more clearly than words ever could. While serving the private dining room, Grace noticed something unusual. One executive repeatedly looked toward another man seated alone near the back of the restaurant. Neither spoke. Neither acknowledged the other. Yet every few minutes, they exchanged subtle eye contact. Then Grace saw the man at the back quietly slide a white envelope beneath a decorative flower arrangement before leaving the restaurant. Seconds later, the executive casually retrieved the envelope and slipped it inside his jacket. Grace expected him to hand it to Benjamin. Instead, during the meeting, the executive dramatically removed the envelope, placed it beside Benjamin's coffee, and suggested someone had secretly delivered important evidence exposing fraud inside the company. The room instantly became tense. Everyone stared at the envelope. Grace quietly watched from across the room. Something didn't make sense. When Benjamin reached for the envelope, Grace politely stepped forward. Without accusing anyone, she gently asked whether she could replace his coffee before he opened it. As she set down the fresh cup, she quietly exchanged the envelope with an identical blank one she had taken from the restaurant office only moments earlier. Benjamin looked surprised. Grace softly whispered, "The truth isn't in the envelope. It's why someone wanted you to believe there was something inside." Curious, Benjamin opened the envelope. It was empty. The executive who had presented it immediately appeared confused. He insisted there had been confidential documents proving corruption. Benjamin calmly asked him a simple question. "If you never opened it yourself, how do you know what was supposed to be inside?" The executive froze. He couldn't answer. Benjamin smiled politely. He requested security review the restaurant's surveillance footage before continuing the meeting. Minutes later, the recordings revealed everything. The executive had secretly accepted the envelope from an unknown visitor before dramatically presenting it as mysterious evidence. Investigators later discovered the envelope had originally contained forged documents designed to create panic, delay the acquisition, and manipulate the company's stock price for financial gain. Grace's quick observation had quietly exposed the deception before anyone could be misled by papers that appeared convincing but were completely false. Benjamin thanked the restaurant manager for preserving the security recordings. The acquisition proceeded successfully after a full investigation cleared the company of wrongdoing. Thousands of employees kept their jobs. Medical research continued without interruption. Several weeks later, Benjamin returned to the restaurant. He asked Grace why she had trusted her instincts. She explained that during her psychology studies, one professor often repeated the same lesson. People trying to sell fear usually need a dramatic prop. The envelope itself never mattered. The reaction it created was the real weapon. Benjamin admired her calm reasoning. He encouraged Grace to apply for an analyst position within his corporate ethics and compliance division. She insisted on earning the opportunity through the normal hiring process. After multiple interviews and assessments, she received the position on merit. Over the following years, Grace became one of the company's leading investigators, helping identify fraud, protect employees, and strengthen ethical business practices across every department. Benjamin often shared her story during leadership conferences. He reminded audiences that intelligence isn't measured by titles or wealth. Sometimes the sharpest mind in the room is the person quietly serving lunch while paying attention to what everyone else ignores. Before this story comes to an end, we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever realized that someone's actions revealed more than their words? Please leave a meaningful comment below because your experience may inspire someone else to trust careful observation instead of appearances. As another warm afternoon sunlight filled the company's headquarters years later, Grace welcomed new ethics investigators beginning their first day of training. Benjamin smiled proudly from the audience, remembering that one plain white envelope. It had contained nothing at all, yet it revealed everything that truly mattered. Sometimes the greatest truth isn't hidden inside an object. It's revealed by the people who believe they can fool everyone around them. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Remember, honesty doesn't always arrive with dramatic evidence. Sometimes it arrives disguised as an empty envelope that exposes a full deception.